Gary Saddlemeyer, KFAB's Morning News. Jim Rose is here. We are pleased to welcome the official evil insurance man of the Morning News, Art Jetter. We joke about the title evil insurance man, but Art's a very highly respected guy in the health insurance industry. And Arthur, this came yesterday. The president first did announce some executive orders that had a lot of probablys and potentiallys, and I've directed in it. And then later in the day, came word that these subsidies, he's ordered the subsidies to stop. Can you unpack this a little bit for us? What is the what is actually happening here?
Well, good morning, Gary.
Good morning.
I think for what I understand, Trump ending the subsidies is really a power play to force Congress to create a bipartisan fix to healthcare.gov or to the Affordable Care Act. It's kind of scary, but otherwise...
Playing chicken, in other words.
Parties together. Yeah, it's a game of chicken. Yeah, for 2018 in the individual policy marketplace, we basically have single-payer health care in Nebraska and Iowa and other parts of the country for those people in the individual market. And pretty much few people like it. It must change. We're not talking about group insurance being in big trouble like the individual market. However, the failure of the individual marketplace will probably impact group premiums and benefits. When this sort of thing happened in New Jersey in the early 2000s, the number of individual insureds dropped from about 200,000 to about 50,000, if I remember correctly. And I think that's what we're witnessing, and the meltdown will continue unless something is done quickly to fix this.
Yeah.
The executive order. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, the executive orders are basically they want to expand association health plans and expand health reimbursement arrangements and expand the availability and duration of short-term limited medical insurance.
And that sounds to me like a reasonable that those are reasonable ideas. You agree?
Those yes, absolutely. They're all reasonable. If you want to know what all those are, I mean, I'm happy to touch on this. The short-term medical plans. Last year, the Obama administration decided that too many people were trying to get out of the healthcare.gov and still be insured by buying these short-term plans. Now, they're, for all practical purposes, easy to buy, but they don't cover pre-existing conditions typically, and because of that, they're very inexpensive, and so a lot of people would just not buy their health insurance through the federal marketplace, and instead get one of these plans. And if you combine if you figure the premium you had to pay or and for healthcare.gov plus the deductible, the even paying a penalty and having one of these would be a lot less expensive. Mm-hmm. Also, people were sitting out the last couple of months of the year because they could not be penalized if they just sat out a couple of months and get one of these things. Well, the Obama administration said you can't have one of these for more than 3 months. Okay. But then now it's hopefully going to be made more available. The problem with that is that some people will complain, hey, look, all the healthy people will quit and get one of these things, and all the sick people will stay in the marketplace, and then the marketplace, the federal marketplace, will be in meltdown. Well, the reality is the federal marketplace
it already is.
In meltdown.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Art, quickly, do you the president's right about this part? He said that the government cannot technically or legally continue to pay these subsidies because Congress hasn't authorized them. What do you think the chances are that Congress will now say, okay, we're going to put the subsidies back in? We are the body that controls the budget, the purse strings. We're going to authorize them. Will that happen?
I think that I think there's every possibility that a fix will be forthcoming and give states more rights to control what happens within their borders with regards to health care. And with that, then the subsidies will come back. Frankly, if we in Nebraska, prior to all of this Affordable Care Act stuff, we had very affordable health insurance, but we needed a subsidy. We had things cost 20% of what they do now, and if we'd have had the subsidy, we would be in tall cotton. But that's just not the case today. Something has to be done to fix this. Now, even these three things, the executive order, none of these can come into play today.
Right.
It's not going to do anything for the enrollment for 2018 unless regulatory actions taken by the agencies, Labor, Health, HHS, and Treasury.
But the subsidies do go in. In fact, the HHS said they're stopped as of right now. The subsidies will not be paid as of right. So, do you know how many Nebraskans are offhand approximately are dependent on those?
I heard a number some time ago. I don't, but I think it's like 30,000.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Now, there are a lot of people that don't get a subsidy that are really staring a disaster in the face. Yeah. And those are middle-income people that have to buy in the individual market. Something has to force this, and perhaps it is the cancellation of subsidies. So,
maybe so. Arthur, thanks so much. Always good to have you on. Lots more to come on this, of course. 7:43 now. News Radio 1110 KFAB, 55 degrees on this Friday morning.